Buongiorno and welcome to Lisa's Italian Kitchen. Tonight I'm making for you a grandmother's classic from Italy, pastina in brodo. That means small pasta in broth. Every Italian grandmother, every Italian American grandmother makes this for their children and grandchildren. It is their belief that it cures everything that you might be feeling. So we're starting tonight with 10 cups of vegetable broth. Now, we're going to heat the vegetable broth until it comes to a low boil, and then we're going to add our pastina. If you prefer to add chicken broth, to use chicken broth because you prefer that taste, that's fine too. I happen to like the vegetable broth. So we have 10 cups here. For 10 cups of broth, I'm going to add 5 cups of pastina. And first, while this comes to a low boil, I'm going to show you the popular different types of Italian pastina. So let's start with the smallest. This is called acini di pepe. And this is the smallest, tiniest pastina that there is. So really what it means are just little pieces of pepper, like ground pepper, acini di pepe, very, very tiny. These are delicious. These are particularly good if you're making your pastina in brodo for a younger child who maybe doesn't care for the bigger pieces of pasta. The second, and my personal favorite, is orzo pasta. And this is such a fun pasta. It's a good pastina to put in soup, to put in brodo. It's also a good pastina to put in minestrone. And my children loved it just plain with butter and cheese. So this is orzo pasta. Our third, and very popular in the United States, very popular in Italian American homes, is ditalini. Ditalini are like little tubes. They're also called tubetti in Italian sometimes, which means small tubes. They just look like a long tube that was cut in a lot of little pieces. These are heartier. Again, really good in pastina and brodo, very good in lots of other soups. This is a very popular pastina to use in pasta fagioli, which is one of my favorite dishes in the whole world. And then the last one that I have for you, again, very popular with the younger children, is stelline. And stelline means little stars. So these, again, like the acini di pepe, these are very small, but they're little stars. When I was little and my grandmother made me pastina and brodo, I always asked for stelline, the baby stars, the tiny stars. So today I'm going to use the ditalini just because it's a little heartier and fun. So we'll use these today. And I've got my broth up to, it's just coming to a nice, now it's at a simmer, coming to a nice low boil. In the meanwhile, let me explain to you 2 things that we do in Italy to our pastina and brodo. Gives it a little more flavor, a little more texture, a little more depth. After we're done boiling the pastina right in the broth and we're ready to serve it, we're going to put a little bit of olive oil over the top. That gives it a wonderful, rich flavor. Then when you serve the pastina in brodo in your bowl, a lot of grandmothers like to add a spoonful of ricotta. So this is whole milk ricotta. As I'm always telling you, all know that I'm a fan of whole milk Italian cheeses. No water, no liquid. And this floats on the top of the pastina and brodo, and you stir it with your spoon, and it gives a very creamy texture to the pastina and brodo. So since we have 10 cups of broth here, we're going to add between 4 and 5 cups of our pastina. Now I'm making a big batch today because you can freeze it, you can serve it to your whole family. It's just a wonderful, wonderful soup. All fall and winter long, this is just a great soup to enjoy. It's wonderful for children, wonderful for adults. So I'm just going to pour my ditalini in, and we're going to wait for it to cook. Usually takes about 7 to 9 minutes. So now my ditalini pasta is fully cooked. Look how beautiful that looks in the vegetable broth. And what we're going to do is serve the soup and put some delicious touches on top. So we want to get a nice spoonful of the broth into your soup bowl first, and then a ladle of the pastina. So now we have our pastina and our brodo in our bowl. We're going to take our olive oil and put un filo di olio. That means a thread of oil across the top of the soup. And then, in typical Italian grandmother fashion, we're going to take a nice spoonful of ricotta and place it right in the center. So what does this do? It's going to melt in the soup. We're going to stir it around, melt it in the soup, and it adds a really lovely level of creaminess to the pastina in brodo. Look at that deliciousness. As they say in Italy, good for anything that ails you. It's delicate, very satisfying. The creamy ricotta with the pastina and the delicate broth is a perfect combination. So, buon appetito, tutti a tavola. And from my Italian grandmother, my beloved Nonna, to you, buon appetito. Ciao, ciao.